Okay, good. Good evening. I am Armando Cuellar Jr., President of the Weslaco ISD Board of Trustees. This special board meeting is being conducted pursuant to Governor Greg Abbott's suspension of certain open meeting law requirements to the extent necessary to allow for telephonic and video conference meetings in response to COVID-19. Notice of this meeting has been posted online for at least 72 hours. The board is meeting by the use of Google Meets and telephone transmission, which allows two-way communication for members of the public during public comments. A recording of this meeting is being made and will be available to the public at a later date. The time now is 5:34, and I call this meeting to order. Item 2, establishment of quorum. I will now begin the roll call. Mr. Isidoro Nieto.
Present.
Mrs. Jackie Sustaita.
Present.
Coach Jesse Trevino.
Present.
Dr. Jaime Rodriguez.
Present.
Mr. Mark de los Santos.
Present.
And Mr. Andrew Gonzalez.
Present.
Let the record show that a quorum of board members are in attendance. Item 3, public comments.
Yes, we had one sign up, but I've called 3 times. I can't make contact, so I'll make sure I have contact with him later for maybe another board meeting.
Topic was not, and just for the record, was a topic related to this board agenda item?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
So the topic has nothing to do with the
Has
The,
nothing to do with
agenda
what's
item?
correct.
so we're not going to entertain the public comment then?
No.
Okay, then. We will now move to item 4. Discussion and possible action for the board to consider approval of a contract with the attorney firm Rank 2 to provide legal services to the district RFQ number 21-01-21. Dr. Canales.
Board of Trustees, last week, we had a special called board meeting. Trustees, did not approve the updated proposed contract submitted by the attorney firm Rank number 1, which was Walsh, Gallegos, Trevino, Russo, and Kyle, PC, and approved to terminate the negotiations with that firm Rank number 1, and authorized us as administration to initiate contract negotiations with the attorney firm Rank number 2. Administration and Mr. Eloy Sepulveda negotiated and agreed on the revised items in the agreement pending formal approval of the Board of Trustees. Board of Trustees, in the event that you do not approve a contract with attorney firm Rank number 2, another special called board meeting will need to be scheduled for the board to, number 1, consider any updates, if any, to the negotiated contract with the attorney firm Rank number 2, or terminate negotiations with attorney firm Rank number 2, and then authorize administration to initiate negotiations with attorney firm Rank number 3. If approved, the attorney firm Rank number 2, law firm of Eloy Sepulveda's contract period will be for 2 years beginning January 25th, 2021 through January 24th, 2023, with the option to renew for one additional 2-year period with board approval. Upon the expiration of the term, the agreement will continue on a month-to-month basis. This agreement may be terminated by either party upon 30 days written notice to the other. So you do have the proposed legal service agreement. It's enclosed for you to look at. And Board of Trustees, we're recommending that you consider approval of the contract to provide legal services to the district with the attorney firm Rank number 2, law firm of Eloy Sepulveda.
Has everyone had time to evaluate and look at? Okay. Do we have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr. De Los Santos?
And I second that.
Mark De Los Santos, motions to approve. And Coach Trevino, second. Okay, we have a motion by Mr. De Los Santos and a second by Coach Jesse Trevino to consider approval of a contract with the attorney firm Rank number 2 to provide legal services to the district, RFQ number 21-01-21. Any discussion?
I would like some clarity. How many firms does Weslaco ISD employ? Do we just have one firm? Obviously, we don't have one firm with a big umbrella to handle everything. Do we have special counsel? How many firms does Weslaco ISD employ?
Board President, if I may respond, and Mr. Sanchez, you can add, okay? I do know we have a retainer with Walsh Gallegos for special education and other services if we need it. So, and then we had the firm that the district had hired that had been part of us for the last 6 years.
Which is,
Jones, Galligan,
Oh,
I forget all the titles. Those are the two that we have, that we can right now work with, right? Well, right now it's only one, Walsh Gallegos, that we can work with for special education.
We have an agreement.
An agreement.
John Calligan have used O'Hanlon, Demeran, Castillo for assistance at some grievances. And that's a limited engagement, but that's only for that. But we don't have a written contract with them.
okay. So we do have Walsh, we do have O'Hanlon. This lawyer that we're going to, or I don't know if we're looking for legal counsel. Is that correct? For the board. That's what we're hiring an attorney for legal counsel for the board
And administration.
and administration. Okay, that's what I want to make clear because there was a lot of confusion going on. Just for the record, many people were saying, well, they're not qualified. Well, everybody's qualified in different areas. With this attorney that we're seeking is for legal counsel of the board and administration, somebody to guide us. And in case we need somebody to represent us in school, special education, we also have Walsh already, and we also have O'Hanlon if needed, correct?
Yeah, we do have a contract.
The initial idea was to provide legal counsel, legal services to the district for everything. With the Huasca Yegua, it was a specific item that we had for special ed,
Okay,
and they helped us with that, but they say the retainer you pay us allows you for phone calls from administrators. We can answer
Okay.
your questions. If you want us to do additional research or something like that extra that is not just phone calls, we'll charge at the hourly rate, which is what Dr. Canales said, we can work with them on something else.
mhm,
But it was intended for phone calls only and special ed, but they can help with something else. The other one with the O'Hanlon was for grievances that we had. But we needed to contact two attorneys at the same time, one to sit with the board and one to represent the board against the other attorney for the grievance that we had.
okay,
But we did not have a contract with O'Hanlon
just with Walsh. We have a contract with Walsh.
Yes,
and the
Okay.
district attorney, so it would be two.
Okay,
Any further discussion? Okay, yes, sir.
Again, y'all's votes are there, and there's no one that I think ever said that they weren't qualified as far as being an attorney. I think the points that were made at our last meeting, just kind of covered everything from where we had, and those that represented or presented to us was a one-stop shop, so we wouldn't have to have other legal counsels. And then, when we had O'Hanlon, well, that's because they have, like Andres just said, our legal advisor is our advisor, and the district needs one to represent the district, which is why O'Hanlon did the grievances. But my concern, and still is my concern, is going through their file, and I'm okay. The rate is $5 more than what Jones Galligan was getting up until last October. It's on the insurance. And it reads that they'll purchase it after we approve it. Again, it's going to get approved, votes are there. But before we sign, make sure that they have their errors and omissions.
The contract said that they will get it.
Right, I understand, but before we sign, make sure that they already provide proof that they have their insurances done. And if I did read correctly, they're gonna apply for the federal courts?
Or something like that.
Okay.
I forgot the exact word that he used.
I just want to clarify in regards to what they're going to do now. Like Mrs. Sustaita said, we're hiring them to do, all our school activities. Is that what the contract says, Mr. Sanchez?
Yeah, preferably, yes.
and then whatever they don't feel comfortable with, they're going to outsource that? Is that, now what's going to happen with the Walsh agreement that we have in place right now? Is that going to be up to Mr. Sepulveda? Are we going to leave that in place?
No, that's in place all the way through November, because it's for a year.
Okay,
And when Mr. De Los Santos from the firm was discussing that if they didn't get selected, the agreement will still remain in place.
okay.
Yeah, we can still, yes.
Litigation.
Now,
Yeah.
when it comes to selecting somebody to assist, if it's necessary, that still has to go through our approval, right? We
Yeah,
will sit and be made aware of what's going on so that we can approve those decisions that are being made to represent us.
Yes, he'll bring it up to the board. Yes, sir.
Okay, to me, that's important.
Yeah, Mr.
We want to be aware of what's going on and develop that trust, so,
Yeah, Mr. Sepulveda said it would be like that.
okay.
Yeah, $200, he said.
Yeah.
Now, I know Mr. Sepulveda had mentioned some training that he would provide for administrators, for security guards. Now, is that included in the flat rate, or is that going to be on the hourly rate?
That will be the hourly rate. I know the way the agreement reads is for meetings, regular meeting with the board president, superintendent, and then phone call with administration or the board.
And he said it would be at no cost to the district.
He said, but it's not on the retainer.
Just the retain, that,
On
do
page
you know?
one,
Okay?
Like, if that's something that we were presented, we can go back. Is that under the negotiations, sir? Is that something we can do as far as if that's left out of the contract, we can go ahead and move towards, instead of approving, we could go back and go back to negotiations so that can be included, or how does that work?
yeah, but then we'll have to have another meeting. Unless
That's fine.
the board delegates to administration to finalize the negotiation of the contract.
Unless the board says pending, approval contract pending, these services are included.
Oh, okay, so we can do that right now.
Miss.
So
And
like
then
an
we-
addendum,
fine.
so just add it.
Right.
Okay.
You could say that too.
Okay?
Sorry, the services are included in the retainer for coming over to the board meetings? They
Yeah,
are
regular-
included in the
yeah,
retainer?
The regular meeting.
They're talking about the trainings.
The question was on the training that they
Okay,
mentioned.
okay.
to the
That's what I
schools.
wanted to know.
You'll reach out to Mr.
Yeah, I'll
Sepulveda?
ask him.
Okay.
So that will probably change the fee that I'm thinking.
Well,
That will be a lot of hours to do all the training.
I think you're speaking about the two specific trainings that were mentioned as part of the presentation, because we could go back to those.
If I remember correctly, I think he said he would include that in the
Right.
services,
Okay.
but
at no fee.
at no fee.
Right. That's true.
To train our principals, our securities, to
Certain
try to
things-
stay away from the grievances, to minimize.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can reach out to him. I guess if he doesn't agree to just sign it, then the contract cannot be approved until the board approves. If he says it's different. Because if you approve it, you're subject to adding that.
Right.
If he doesn't want to add it to the amount that we have in the retainer, then we'll have to bring it back to the board.
And that's what we expect, that communication is going to be very important.
Yes, sir.
I would also like to add, Andres, if we can go ahead and have them provide us, with a monthly breakdown of the costs that we're incurring, so we can stay up to date with the charges from the attorney. Because again, I'm looking at the invoices here, and in 2020, from August 31st through January the 25th of 2020, we paid Jones over $271,000. I don't see that happening here.
No, that's not correct. For legal
Sir,
fees-
I have the invoices right here in front of me.
Yeah, with all due respect, for legal fees, that is not correct.
Oh.
That might be payments to John Galligan. We
Yes.
bought a piece of land that was 100 and some thousand north of the stadium. And we made a payment to them as trustees. They dealt with the title company to buy the property. and we got the paperwork late December, after it was finally signed by everybody, the title company. The payment was to them. That doesn't necessarily say legal fees, though. The payment.
Okay, yes, I saw that
Yeah, That's for the
$148,000.
property, but that's not legal.
So
fees.
the 271 minus 148 is probably safe to say is still the amount that we paid the attorney.
No, for 271 will be everything. You said, how much does it say?
I have, what I'm looking at here is up through August 31st of 2020, 271, 155, minus the $148,000 that you're saying was a payment that was paid to the construction or for the stadium or something?
No, the property, the land next to the northeast of Lucky Stadium, we bought the land.
So it would go through them then? We would,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
would
we
give
did
them a
it.
check?
Yes, sir. The board approved.
And then
it
they're
like
in charge of dispersing, so they're acting like a title company? Is that what?
that. No. They work with the title company.
Uh-huh.
The board, they help us with the negotiation to buy it. Usually when you buy land, the district has money, that's what everybody thinks.
But,
So the board approved it to go like that.
Let's-
okay, no, that's fine, but I do want,
Okay,
The
point
request.
well taken, but the thing is to just keep track of,
yes.
and,
We can make a report to the
keep us
board.
informed
monthly breakdown.
and we'll work with that. Mr. Sanchez, so we're
We can
aware
make
of
a
what,
report.
okay.
Yes, sir.
With that being said,
Ahmed here.
go ahead.
In,
Mr.
in
Nieto.
the, in the past, when we had to hire a new superintendent, there was a lot of meetings that we had to have at that time when we hired Dr. Canales. Also, when we, unfortunately, when we had to fire a superintendent, also, there was a lot of meetings that they had to have with different personnel. But that was a few years ago.
Yes.
So, but it's good to have that monthly, that way we know ahead of time of how much the charges are.
Correct.
I think it'll be a good way to stay abreast of what's going on with taxpayers' money and,
Yeah.
that transparency, so. Okay, let's,
To change the motion then, depending on the adjustment to the contract for the training?
The contract is presented, subject to
Subject.
negotiating with the attorney, that we add the trainings he offered as part of the retainer fee.
So, yeah, so Marcus, you have to.
So I would have to, what's the terminology for that, rescind or,
No,
just to make a modification?
yes,
Okay.
make a modification.
Oh, okay.
okay, so what's the,
So I would make a motion, I'm making a motion to approve item 4, but depending on the alteration to the contract, it includes the additional free training to staff that was stated in the presentation as part of the retainer.
okay, so we're gonna add that to the training for staff. Okay, do we have that wording? Is it safe to move on and?
I would have to redo it
Bring it
again.
to a vote?
Yes. I second that motion.
Second.
Yeah,
Okay.
second.
Second by Mr. Coach.
I second that motion.
As amended.
So,
Right, as amended.
Mr. De Los Santos?
Yes.
Made a motion to add to the motion that we would have the training provided by the firm. Okay. As part of the,
As part of the retainer.
the retainer fee, okay?
Right.
And we have a second by Coach Trevino. Do we need any discussion on that? Okay, let's bring it to a vote and entertain the approval by saying aye. Mr. Nieto,
Aye.
Mrs. Jackie,
Aye.
Coach Jesse Trevino,
Aye.
Dr. Jaime Rodriguez,
Aye.
Mr. Mark De Los Santos,
Aye.
and Mr. Andrew Gonzalez.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Item 5, adjournment. This meeting is adjourned, and the time now is 5:53.